Welcome to Rob Schmitt tonight. You have to wonder if the no evidence of corruption crowd will ever give up their sycophantic defense of Biden's behavior during he and Obama's second term and the years immediately after. Another revelation this week makes the defense of Biden even more humiliating to watch. Biden used an alias thousands of times while he was vice president of the United States. More than a year after the Southeastern Legal Foundation issued a FOIA request to the National Archives, the archives finally responding 14 months later, admitting it has nearly 5,400 emails, electronic records, and documents containing one of Joe Biden's 3 known aliases. 5,400 documents while Biden was in the White House. SLF's FOIA request still has not elicited a single one of those 5,400 documents, hoping a lawsuit will stop NARA from protecting Joe Biden. SLF requested any document containing the names Robert L. Peters, Robin Ware, or J.R.B. Ware. So far, the only emails we've been able to see were found in Hunter Biden's laptop, including an email from Joe's assistant sent to Robert L. Peters and also to Hunter Biden, the only 2 people that got that email. It detailed a phone call with Ukraine's president that for some reason Hunter needed to know about. Boss, 8:45 a.m., prep for 9 a.m. phone call with President Poroshenko, the president of Ukraine. At the time, Joe Biden was Obama's point man on Ukraine. He was the most powerful person in the country in that part of the world. Hunter was making millions of dollars in Ukraine at the same time. Years later, Biden claimed that, of course, there was a wall between him and his family's shady foreign business deals.
I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period. And what I will do is the same thing we did in our administration. There will be an absolute wall between personal and private and the government. There wasn't any hint of scandal at all when we were there, and I'll impose the same kind of strict rules. That's why I never talk with my son or my brother or anyone else, even distant family, about their business interests, period.
Lies, lies, lies. All the man does is lie. Hunter's laptop contained 10 emails to Robert L. Peters and to, of course, Hunter Biden. That's why they were on the laptop, all discussing Biden's political schedule regarding Ukraine, the place that the Bidens were making millions of dollars. It all makes perfect sense. As we know, Biden was, surprisingly, smart enough to keep the real sinister stuff off of email and text messages. When you're this corrupt, you can't just leave a trail of emails and text messages that anybody can use. Biden's business partners knew the deal. James Gillier to Tony Bobulinski. Remember this text message? 2 men that were in on the China deals. The Bidens made millions in China. James says to Tony, don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you are face to face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid. The Bidens knew they needed just enough plausible deniability if they were ever caught. And now they're caught. And we're seeing Democrats on TV just absolutely humiliating themselves, using the tiniest, teeniest little morsels of doubt as just blatant evidence that nothing illegal was going on.
There's literally no evidence that this ties back to the President of the United States. And I think that whataboutism is going to fall flat as we head into this election.
They have found no evidence whatsoever that there are impeachable crimes.
There is no evidence of any wrongdoing by the president.
We still have no evidence whatsoever that the current president did anything intentionally and willfully.
Millions of people listen to these clowns all day long. Sure, the killer was in the house and ran out covered in blood and took off in his car and hasn't been seen since, but there's no evidence that he killed those people. We're also seeing even more proof that basically every part of the government is all in on protecting Joe Biden. The National Archives, the agency that reported Trump to the feds after he annoyed them as they tried to retrieve classified documents that apparently everybody takes home with them. Well, NARA appears to be doing everything in its power to protect corrupt Joe. We should have had all 5,400 of these documents, mostly emails with Biden's 3 aliases, a year ago. And we still don't have them. It's been 14 months since the initial request. They've only just now put out a number on how many that they have. SLF says NARA is dragging its feet. It's obvious why. In 1 year, Americans are going to choose between Trump and Biden again. You know who the National Archives want to win that race. House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries, now facing this massive onslaught of evidence that his party's leader is just blatantly corrupt, is still trying to hold on to that little sliver of plausible deniability.
Are you confident when you look at what the Justice Department has done, when you look at the investigations into Hunter Biden that the Republicans have pursued up to this point, that there hasn't been any wrongdoing, everything's been above board?
Yes, I'm extremely confident. The American people know fundamentally that Joe Biden is a good and decent man who's dedicated his life to public service and will continue to serve the people honorably and admirably.
Don't you wish you were a politician? You can just say anything? Anything you want. Doesn't matter if it's even remotely true or real at all. Hakeem probably needs to take a look at some recent polls, including the very Democrat-friendly Harvard-Harris poll that shows 63% of Americans now think Joe Biden was absolutely involved in this bribery and influence peddling scandal. And if Harvard-Harris says 63, that probably means it's closer to 73.